In tonight's WJZ Health Watch, a remarkable story. Gone forever. It is what one Virginia man was initially told by doctors after a workplace accident resulted in his left hand being cut off. But he didn't lose hope, and neither did the surgeon who ended up treating him here in Baltimore. Our George Solis with this story of thanks that you'll only see on WJZ. We do want to warn you, some of the images are graphic.
It's hard enough to think about losing something like a hand. Now imagine being a drummer. It's the reality Juan Carlos Hernandez faced after his workplace accident, and at first things didn't look good. Then he came to the Curtis National Hand Center here in Baltimore. 28-year-old Juan Carlos Hernandez doesn't need to say it. Just watching him play, and it's obvious, the man loves to drum. More than half of my life has been music, he tells me. It's the first thought that went through his mind as he watched his left hand lying on the ground detached from his body. Accidentally, the indication wasn't clear, and the machine came down and my hand was cut off, he says. Juan Carlo, who speaks limited English, was at work last week at a sheet metal plant in Virginia. He says everyone was so in shock they almost left his hand behind as they rushed him to a local hospital. Amazingly, he never lost consciousness despite severe blood loss. The only thing I wanted was for them to save my hand, he says. But it didn't look good. Doctors telling him his hand couldn't be saved. Then his boss made a call, and before he knew it, he was being flown for emergency surgery at the Curtis National Hand Center in Baltimore.
You never know if you can save it, but sometimes you just have to try.
For about 13 hours, lead surgeon on the case, Dr. Ryan Katz, did try and succeeded.
It makes me feel good, and being able to share that with the patient and the family is why many of us do what we do here.
And they do it more often than you may think. The center is home to 14 skilled surgeons.
This is one of the world's best.
Juan Carlos, now more than a week out of that surgery and now able to move his fingers easily, agrees. Yeah, definitely a day of thanks, because this is indeed a miracle, he says. No better note to end as we approach the holiday. Juan Carlos will need months, if not a year, of physical therapy. Now, doctors say his desire to get back to drumming could be the reason his recovery is going so well. In Baltimore, George Solis reporting for WJZ.